So this video, I'm going to be talking about why many people believe that the native ancient Egyptians were actually black, just like other sub-Saharan Africans. And there's a lot of people that have talked about this, including Aristotle, but I'm going to focus on the story from Herodotus. And this is a Greek historian. They call him the father of history, and he happened to travel to a lot of places when he was alive around 500 BC. And he did go to Egypt, talk to a lot of people, and he tells a story about the Egyptians that I feel is the most powerful. And what he was talking about is about a king called Sesostris. That was like the Greek name for this Egyptian king. This Sesostris was, he conquered a lot of places. He went through, Palestine, Syria, the Middle East, and he also went to places that would be considered Russia today. Back then they call it Scythia, land of the Scythians. And he said a lot of things about what he did while he was there. But he said that when he got to a place near the Black Sea called River Phasis. This place is in Georgia today. There's a country called Georgia today. That when he got there, they don't know if maybe his soldiers may have abandoned him or if he may have left some soldiers there. Because at that time, when the author was writing, there are some people there, they call themselves Colchians. And he said that these people, the reputation is that they are Egyptian. And that there's been a lot of arguments over that. And he was going to give the reasons why he believes that they are Egyptians. And one of the first things he said was that, like the Egyptians, the Colchians have woolly hair, black skin, but that's one of the interesting things about him is that he said that's not the only reason why he feels they're Egyptian, because many other people have similar features. So at that particular time, there were people that lived not just in Africa that were black. So the other things he said is that the Colchians themselves believe that they are Egyptian and that they remember Egyptians more than the Egyptians remember them. So so these people themselves call themselves Egyptian. And he also said that they practice circumcision, and that circumcision is one of those practices at that time that was not very widespread. He said the only people that do circumcision are these Colchians, Egyptians, and Ethiopians. That some Syrians and Phoenicians also practice it. Those folks live around present-day Lebanon and Israel. And that those people seem to have learned it from the Egyptians. And his reasoning for this is that whenever they don't live in their country, if they travel, let's say, to Greece or any of those places, they tend to stop doing it. And of course, those places were also under the, the domination of the Egyptians for a long time. And he also said something about the origin of circumcision itself. That between the Ethiopians and the Egyptians, you can't really say who started circumcision first, because it's a very, very long tradition that they've been practicing it for a very long time. Between those two, you can't really say who started it. And if I was to say my own piece, I probably believe that the Ethiopians started it first. And of course, when we talk about Ethiopians in this context, we are not talking necessarily about the present day Ethiopians. These Ethiopians probably, at that time, they referred to the people that live in Sudan, like the country of Sudan today. Back then, that's where they mean when they refer to Ethiopians. And other, black people that live south of them, they refer to them as Ethiopians. And one of the reasons why it's important to actually, talk about this and to actually bring some of the facts out is that I believe that when you look at a lot of historical racism, as far as not acknowledging some of the important contributions of black people around the world, this is probably at the cornerstone. If there was a foundation for it, this is a cornerstone. We've heard about what happened when the French people got to Egypt and saw the Sphinx, where they were shooting down noses of different statues and stuff. I believe the feeling is that if black people and Africans actually know their history, they have a little more appreciation for themselves and be willing to actually make a stand and do things that they are not doing right now, and actually be more willing to build things. Because if you've built things in the past, it's easy for you to see why you need to do it now. But if you believe, like they've been told, that you've never done anything, that you never wrote down anything, you don't have any history, then you're just like a child that doesn't know his father and does not know the legacy of his father's family. Because I believe that we are supposed to somewhat carry on the legacy of our forebears, our ancestors. And some of the things that as an African I've seen in some cultures. You as a family, you have a history that is generally passed down from father to son, and most of the time the women in the family, they'll learn some of this history that is recited. And if you're going to marry somebody from that family, you'll have to learn this recitation, so that when you have children, and the children, let's say they are crying or they're sick, these are some of the things that you recite to them in order to build up their spirit and make them feel good and better when they're sick or when they have any problems. And these are stories that are passed down from generation to generation. And you also are supposed to learn all the different things about the family, like how to cook for your husband. As far as the mother of the husband will show the incoming wife how to do these things, so that they can continue that legacy. And of course, everybody has their own interpretation to doing some of these things, but they want you to also know the family background and how to continue. So I always believe that knowing your history is very important, and it's very crucial, especially for a lot of Africans today. Many of them don't really know this history, and I believe that knowing this history is going to be part of what's necessary to solve some of the present day problems. So thank you guys for watching this video. This is the first video that I'm making, and I hope to make some more videos in the future. Dealing with all kinds of topics. I don't have any specific area that I want to focus on. Definitely, I'll be focusing a lot on some historical aspects, and I'm gonna also talk about some things even from the Bible, and I'll talk about some things having to do with African culture and some of the history that I think that a lot of people don't just know about. And from the way they carry themselves and talk, I believe that bringing some of this information out in an informal way, like on this YouTube channel, is going to benefit a lot of people if the message gets out there. Thank you guys.